The first time I saw Meera, time seemed to fold in on itself. It was Diwali night, and the Jaipur sky sparkled with fireworks and clay lamps scattered across every balcony and street corner. I was supposed to be focused on the prayers and rituals my family held so dear, but my eyes were drawn to something beyond the flickering flames. On the makeshift stage in the central square, a silhouette moved with a grace that defied reality. Meera, the symbols on her ankles chimed like temple bells, and her red Gagra choli swirled in waves of fabric and light. Her gaze was a calling, a secret only I seemed to understand. My chest tightened. I had never felt anything so immediate, so visceral. I didn't know her name yet, but I was already marked. As the performance ended, applause echoed through the square. I found myself moving through the crowd, pushed forward by a force greater than reason. When she turned and our eyes met, the electricity between us was undeniable. "You dance like a goddess," I whispered, my voice barely audible, yet she heard it. Meera smiled, tilting her head slightly. Her long earrings swayed with the movement. "And you look at me like a devotee." The impact of her words made me hold my breath. From that moment on, something was born between us. Our meetings became secret, stolen moments. In the silent temples at dawn, in the narrow alleys where jasmine flowers scented the night. Meera taught me about dance, how every gesture carried an ancestral meaning. I taught her about the customs my family imposed on me, about the weight of carrying a respectable name. "The lotus flower grows from the mud but blooms pure," she told me once, holding my hand over a stone-carved deity. So do we. Those words consumed me. Desire between us was inevitable. One night, during Holi, when colors stained our clothes and skin, she pulled me into a secluded corridor of an old house. Her gaze burned. "Meera," I began, but her hands were already on my waist, her nose grazing my cheek. "Tell me I can." Her voice was fire, both a request and a challenge. I said nothing. I only closed my eyes and kissed her. The explosion of passion was intense. Her hands explored my face, my neck, my shoulders, as if she wanted to etch me into her memory. My nails dug lightly into her skin, anchoring her to me, afraid that it was all just a dream. In that instant, there were no temples, no family, no fear, only the two of us, and a love struggling to rise from the shadows. The days that followed our first kiss were a whirlwind of ecstasy and unease. Meera and I found ways to see each other, defying the weight of tradition and the prying eyes of the city. Our passion burned like the flame of an oil lamp in the wind, sometimes flickering, sometimes fierce, but always alight. Our secret haven was the abandoned temple by the river. The sound of water flowing in the distance blended with the rhythm of our pounding hearts. Meera always arrived first, her bare feet gliding over the worn stone. "You're late, Premi," she whispered, using that sweet word that made me melt. But it was the huskiness in her voice, laced with desire, that made me forget all fear. The news of our love spread faster than we had expected. My home became a battlefield, where my mother wept in silence, and my father spat veiled threats through clenched teeth. This is a phase, a mistake. You will shame us. I endured their words like invisible lashes. But Ravi, my brother, was the worst. Don't you understand? You're throwing your life away for something that will never be accepted. But then, amidst the chaos, an unexpected voice rose. My grandmother, small and wrinkled but with eyes reflecting years of wisdom, placed a hand on the table and for the first time silenced everyone. The lotus grows in the mud, but blooms untainted, she said, her voice steady. Who are we to stop it from flowering? Shock rippled across their faces. My father tried to argue, but her piercing gaze cut him off. Love is not shameful. What's shameful is the fear of living. I held back my tears. Meera had been right. Running away wasn't our only choice. That night, we met at the temple as always. But this time, it wasn't a secret. Meera stood there, dressed in a golden sari, and beside her were friends, allies, people who had decided that love was stronger than any imposed tradition. My heart pounded. As I stepped into the temple, hand in hand with Meera, the candlelight reflected on our faces like an omen. Are you ready? She asked, her fingers tightening around mine. I took a deep breath, feeling her presence, the certainty that we were exactly where we were meant to be. Then, I lifted my chin and faced the future without fear. Always. And together, we took our first step toward a new beginning.